Omni-man seems completely unstoppable, but he's not. Many characters could destroy him in a fight, and today we're ranking them all, from the hardest fights to the easiest kills. And trust me, the final one will leave you speechless. Starting with the first group who almost killed Omni-man, the original Guardians of the Globe. Now, that might sound controversial, but hear me out. Omni-man's win came at a serious cost. The Guardians were caught off guard, sure, but even then, he didn't walk away unscathed. And if just a few things had gone differently, they could have easily ended him. On paper, the Guardians had serious power. The Immortal and War Woman were the heavy hitters, both with flight, super strength, and centuries of combat experience. Red Rush had insane speed and reflexes. Green Ghost could phase through solid matter. Martian Man could restrain targets with his shifting body. Then, you had Darkwing and Aquarius, who are less powerful, but could still stun or slow down Omni-Man. Together, they had the numbers, the versatility, and enough force to do some serious damage to Omni-Man. And they did. Red Rush made the first major move, saving the Immortal from what would have been an instant kill. Huh? But instead of capitalizing on this, the rest of the team hesitated. That delay gave Omni-Man time to adapt. War Woman struck first but went in wild. Darkwing and Aquarius followed, managing to push Omni-Man back for a moment. Red Rush pulled off another save, but then made the fatal mistake of going in for the attack. He landed hits, real ones, enough to make Omni-Man bleed, but it didn't matter. He was caught, and well, we all know what happens next. That moment shattered the team's confidence. One by one, they broke. Martian Man tried to restrain him. War Woman landed a clean hit. Darkwing rushed in and got cooked. Green Ghost caught his body and froze, leaving herself open to the kill. And Aquarius hesitated and paid the price. The team scattered, the plan fell apart. And just like that, 4 were taken out in seconds. But there's something important here that people don't consider. Despite being in complete chaos, having no prep, minimal coordination, and being in shock, the team managed to do some serious damage to Omni-Man. So what if they handled it differently? The Immortal and War Woman should have been the only ones in direct combat. Their strength gave them the best shot at going toe-to-toe, and when they did work together, they landed the most damage. Darkwing and Aquarius should have played from range, using bombs, stun tech, and jet streams to create openings or distract Omni-Man mid-fight. Martian Man's best move was entanglement, short, controlled strikes to disrupt Omni-Man's attacks and protect teammates. And the two most important, Red Rush and Green Ghost. Their job wasn't offense, it was rescue. With intangibility and high-speed movement, they could have pulled teammates out of kill zones, reset the field, and kept the Immortal and War Woman alive long enough to finish the fight. If the Guardians played as smart, they could have won, but they didn't. If you thought that was bad for Omni-Man, remember, it only gets worse from here. And the next one is one of the biggest threats ever. It is none other than Adam Eve. While Eve has not been shown in the kindest of lights in the show, I must go into just how incredibly overpowered her abilities truly are. While we see a lot of pink energy shields, weapons, and armor, let us not forget that Adam Eve's true power is manipulating matter. Even with the full extent of her abilities in a sort of lockdown mode, she can manipulate the matter of non-living things however she sees fit. In the Adam Eve special, she rearranges the molecules of a paper book into solid glass. In her fight against Conquest, we see her increase the density of the air molecules around him to restrain him and turn a pink energy ball into water to keep him off balance mid-fight, just to showcase a couple of moments where she is shown using her powers to their full extent. Not to mention that it is done without bypassing the lockdown, which limits her from using this overpowered power on living beings. We've seen her bring down some serious threats, fighting alongside Mark against the invincible variants, and even standing toe-to-toe with Conquest. Sure, it wasn't for long, and she didn't win, but she held her ground, kept him off balance, and landed more than a few solid hits. Adam Eve is powerful, strategic, and deadly when it counts. While the show has not yet done her justice in her regular capabilities, one thing they have shown well is her ultimate, the one that Omni-Man wouldn't stand a chance against. When her powers are fully unleashed, there may not be a combatant who could stand before her. In the same episode where she fights Conquest, we see it. She quickly recovers from a fatal wound and shreds Conquest's skin completely off. With a devastating beam of energy, This gives Mark the advantage that gets him the victory, mortally wounding Conquest. While that alone is an amazing display of her true power, it's still not all we've seen. We see it in full swing in the Adam Eve special. She breaks the lock and seizes the two people responsible for her suffering. She talks about how she could rearrange their molecules, completely reshape them entirely, but she settles for erasing their minds of her.
I see it all now. Every single molecule. I could rearrange your cells to make you whole new people from the monsters you are.
If what she said was true, she could rearrange Omni-Man into a puddle of goo, and there wouldn't be a thing he could do about it. Now that we've covered the hypotheticals, let's look at the characters who could go blow for blow with Omni-Man and win, starting with one of the toughest, Conquest. It might come down to the difference between a few well-placed blows, but I'm confident that Conquest would come out on top if he wasn't holding back. The older Viltrumite is not just a showcase for his brutality, but a showcase for the Viltrumite race's brutality at its peak. He and Nolan may have a similar background of conquering planets, maybe even a similar track record, so to speak. Nolan prefers more trickery, diplomacy, and strategic weakening over time, favoring infiltration and weakening defenses to brutal violence when bringing planets under the Viltrum Empire's rule. Conquest, however, is the complete opposite, reveling in brutality and violence and taking over planets, favoring wiping out any opposition with sheer force. Being so good at it, he is denied a traditional Viltrumite name, being only referred to as his nickname or title of Conquest by other Viltrumites.
Conquest. I don't even get a real name, only a purpose.
Both are respected and or feared for their level of skill and successful history in bringing planets to heel. Nolan is the stuff of a respected celebrity among the Viltrumites. Conquest is the monster story Viltrumites tell around campfires. That's not to claim that Nolan is a stranger to violence or carrying out orders with brutal efficiency, as we see in his fight with the original Guardians of the Globe and Mark respectively. Nolan is more than proficient as getting down and dirty, but I think Conquest has the edge in both experience and eagerness. During Invincible's fight with Conquest, we can analyze this fully. Invincible has come a long way since season 1, but even still, Conquest spends most of the fight toying with him, probing him for weakness, provoking him to higher means of violence, all in the name of a good time.
Yes! I want more! Very good!
Conquest is almost completely unhinged. Nolan decimated half a city in his fight with Mark. Conquest devastated multiple cities in his bout with Mark. Conquest takes on Mark, Oliver, and Eve with ease, again, playing with all of them. I can count the amount of well-landed shots that actually hurt Conquest on one hand. His every move is punctuated by a shockwave that devastates anything around him. He teases Mark, takes his time, and messes around. But the second he gets serious about the fight, it's clear that he could have ended it at any time. As the fight escalates, he only seems to enjoy himself more and more. A fight between him and Nolan would be close, probably down to the wire, but Conquest has the edge. He would be willing to go further and sacrifice more. Conquest also has no emotional weaknesses, no one to attack or distract from the fight at hand, where Mark, Oliver, or Debbie around, well then Nolan wouldn't stand a chance. And for that reason, I know he could kill Omni-Man. Unlike our next contestant, who has a surprising ability he could use to become far stronger than Omni-Man if needed. It's Alan the Alien. He starts out at a level close to invincible, if not at least a fair bit stronger. Alan is the representative for the coalition of planets, a conglomeration of alien worlds that are not under the control of the ever-expanding Viltrum Empire. At his earliest stage of power, he would likely have been no match for Omni-Man. However, that changes rather quickly. After Alan's first true battle against 3 Viltrumites, which he loses in a brutally gory fashion, it's clear he is hopelessly and hilariously outmatched. The 3 Viltrumites work in tandem to brutalize him, delivering devastating blows turn by turn, and he can't even defend himself. He is left on the brink of death, yet not only does he survive, he comes back stronger than ever, significantly more powerful, and much larger.
Oh, not like I was dead. Oh, this is a nice surprise. Oh no. Oh, I broke it. Oh.
I am glad to see you in one piece, Alan of Unova.
Yeah.
As we see in Season 3, Alan helps to bust Omni-Man out of a Viltrumite prison, taking down 2 Viltrumites in the process. Although he is aided by Omni-Man and Battle Beast, he manages to go toe-in-toe with Anissa prior to being captured, surprisingly having to fake being taken down after delivering a powerful blow that rocks her.
No Unopin is that strong.
We have seen Anissa's raw power on display before during her battle with Mark back on Earth, so we know she is formidable. During the escape, Alan handles himself well against the Viltrumites, again pretending to be injured to prompt Nolan into helping. In reality, he remains mostly unharmed. It's evident that the Viltrumites weren't holding back, showcasing just how much a single battle made a difference for him. Now we come to the question, could he currently defeat Omni-Man? The answer is a resounding maybe. He is certainly a lot tougher now and might even be on Nolan's level. The battle could come down to a difference in wit and skill. However, what if Alan were to utilize his regenerative abilities again, essentially gaming the system? In just a couple of controlled battles or scenarios, he could potentially outclass even Omni-Man by a significant margin. If he can already outmatch Viltrumites after just a single survived battle, think about how much untapped potential Alan really has. He just needs to access it to become one of the strongest beings in the universe. And now we arrive at the last person on the list, at least for the time being, someone who has hidden no tricks, no secret powers, no handicaps or boosts, and who would never hold back to an ultimate showdown. It's Battle Beast. This might come as a surprise to viewers of the show, but Battle Beast is arguably one of the most terrifying opponents in the entire universe of Invincible. Let's start at the beginning. We first see him in Season 1 working for Machine Head. The reason for his presence there isn't particularly important. What is significant is the showcase of his raw power. Alongside a few other low-level villains, he confronts Invincible and Titan. The battle quickly goes poorly for our hero, as he is initially outmatched and gets slapped around, with Battle Beast making a joke out of Titan. When he sends Invincible crashing through a roof, we see Omni-Man floating above, witnessing the event. Why did he refuse to intervene? Did he know Battle Beast was there? Especially considering what happens to Mark during the fight, it's shocking that Omni-Man doesn't help. Perhaps he is frightened? Mark loses his cool and quickly takes down the other villains before asking, "Who's next?" The answer is that Battle Beast is next. He firmly puts Mark in his place.
Who's next?
Even though Mark isn't tough enough yet to take on stronger foes, the Reformed Guardians show up to help.
We'll take it from here.
While the lower level villains pull up a bit of a fight, no one is actually able to lay a finger on Battle Beast. He clobbers the entire team effortlessly, taking most of them down in a single blow. The only reason that they survive is that Battle Beast chooses not to kill them then and there. He utterly destroys Invincible, leaving him a mangled mess. Now that we've established him as a significant threat, potentially one that even Omni-Man fears, let's dive deeper, specifically into Season 3. During the prison escape with Alan and Nolan, Battle Beast takes on a Viltrumite officer named Solo, a challenge that even Alan and Nolan struggle with as a team. After the fight, he survives for weeks in deep space, floating away until he is rescued by some aliens. As it stands, I believe Battle Beast would come out on top in a fight against Nolan, but let's go a little bit deeper into the source material to clearly establish why Battle Beast is definitely capable of killing Omni-Man. Final warning, by the way, for huge spoilers regarding later seasons ahead. First, we have to recover a few essentials. Battle Beast comes to blows with the current ruler of the Viltrumites, Thrag. While we won't delve too deep into Thrag, it's critical to understand that the leader of a species governed by strength-based hierarchy is the pinnacle of that species. Battle Beast openly challenges Thrag to glorious combat. During their fight, Thrag is gravely wounded through the intervention of another. Insulted, Battle Beast inflicts a grievous wound on himself to level the playing field. The battle rages on for 3 days as they clash like titans of power. While Thrag ultimately wins and kills Battle Beast, the fight is incredibly close. Thrag was so brutally beaten that he fell, battered from head to toe. Battle Beast stood alone against the ruler of the Viltrumites for 3 whole days and nearly achieved victory. He even showed chivalry by ensuring that he didn't take advantage of Thrag's vulnerabilities, which could have guaranteed him a win. He was probably the only being in the entire universe at that time who could boast that fact. That is everyone that could kill Omni-Man. If you enjoyed this video, you'll enjoy my video about everyone who could kill Invincible.